What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today I have a pretty big haul for you, but I don't have a lot of actual comic books. I have a ton of graphic novels, though. That's pretty much all I asked for anyone from Christmas was graphic novels, and I also got a lot of good deals after Christmas. Always lots of sales around the holiday time, so we are going to start with the single issues first. There was some other stuff that I wanted to grab and show you guys that I got from friends, but I kind of forgot, and I honestly don't know where I put them. So I feel bad because I did want to show because my friends got me some cool stuff. Like my one friend got me 2 Silver Age Deadmans and a couple graphic novels for Christmas, so I wanted to show that, but I think I may have already put it away. Anyway, I went to my comic shop a couple times in the last 2 weeks. They got in a new collection of stuff. I was really excited to go and check it out. Unfortunately, most of it was just not affordable because it was like really high-grade Silver Age stuff. And I just can't afford high-grade Silver Age. I can afford low-grade, very beat-up Silver Age, but... So yeah, that didn't prove very fruitful. I did find a few cool things in the dollar bin and in the back issue bins. First off, I found this Darkness #1 in the dollar bin. This is from volume 2. And then also in the dollar bin, I found a later issue of Doom 2099. This is number 37. It does have defects, but I don't have this issue and it's harder to find. It does have a bit of a split there and has a little bit of dirt, but it's not going to fall apart on me or anything, so got that. And then in their back issue bins, what I always call their back issues, because they have another, so they have back issue bins, and then they also have a wall of like pull-out drawers. So this is where I went and looked for stuff, because that's usually the stuff that's been sitting there for a really long time, and sometimes you can get some really good deals on stuff. So I went through their Valiant box, which I had gone through before many times and sadly hadn't found anything that I needed. If you're new to my channel, I am trying to complete every original Valiant 1 universe series. Magnus is one that I'm very close to. This is one of the very, very few issues I was missing, issue number 6. I think this was when there were coupons in them. I honestly didn't check to see if the coupon was in this one. I believe it's also the second appearance of Rye. So I am down to just missing issue 5 and issue 0 because I also bought an issue 12 that is on its way. That's the first appearance of Turok. So I do have an issue 6. Like I said, I don't recall if it has the coupon in it. Kind of feels like it does. I guess we could open it up here and look. As you can see, it's a flip book, and Rye number 2 is on the other side. Fairly certain I feel the coupon. And yes, the coupon is in it. And then also in the back issue, I was digging through their kids' books or all ages books, which some of those were like Beavis and Butthead. And I was like, oh, I don't know if that's really all ages or kids, but... Nevertheless, I found a Sonic the Hedgehog number 7. I'd seen this cover before. I saw someone get it in a haul on YouTube not that long ago, and I thought that was a really cool cover, and I saw it there, and it was only 11 bucks, so I figured I'd grab it for myself. It's cool to have an early issue of Archie Sonic. I don't actively collect Archie Sonic, but I'm not opposed to getting it when I find it for cheap. I did used to read it when I was a kid, but it's just something that I've not really tried to go after because it's not cheap and it's not the easiest to find, especially the later issues. So yeah, I think this is only like the second Archie Sonic book that I even have. And then I went to Second and Charles. I had a box of books to trade in, actual books, not comic books, but they were so backed up that day on trades that they told me that they probably wouldn't even get to mine until that night or tomorrow. And that kind of sucked because I was hoping to have, the trade credit because I wanted to dig for books and also graphic novels, which you'll see I did find some graphic novels from there as well. So I drove around town going to some other places for a time, and they didn't get to my trade-in while I was there, so I just said heck with it and went in and got what I wanted and paid it with my own money instead of the trade-in credit. Of course, 20 minutes after I left, I got a text saying that my trade-in was ready, so that's just how it goes. But anyway, I found a bunch of good stuff for like $2 and $3 a piece. So first off, I found this Star Wars Bounty Hunters Aura Sing one-shot. That was $2. I found a Space Usagi #1 for $2. Thought that was super cool. This was a really great find. Futurama #56 for $2. I don't know at what point it gets to where Futurama is got like a lower print run. I think it's harder to find in general, but I know it does get to a point where as it continues along, it gets to be a lower print run. It may be around this time because issue 56 seems kind of high for Futurama, but I may be wrong. And I got some more here. So I'm undecided on if I want to keep this or not. I'm not like the biggest Crow fan, but I very rarely find 90s Crow, and so I just grabbed it. It was only $2. So it's the Crow Flesh and Blood 2 of 3 from Kitchen Sink. They had a couple others there, and I wish I just grabbed them. I don't know if the entire mini was there, but I do think there was another issue there, so I kind of wish I grabbed that just so I could at least maybe read it a little bit. I think this is a different Crow. This is the female Crow. Like I said, I don't know a ton about the Crow. Seen the movie, I have the hardcover, but I've never read it. I found a few Vampirellas there. Got Vampirella Lives #1. I believe this is not the main cover. I like these old cosplay covers. That was also $2. Got the Vampirella Pinup Special. This is an Adam Hughes cover. I'm missing pretty much all the Adam Hughes Vampirella. I'm kind of trying to put together like all the 90s Vampirella stuff because that's what I like. I buy some of the modern stuff here and there, but mostly the 90s Vampirella is what I like. And I'm missing all the Adam Hughes stuff, so this is, I think, probably like my first one. That was $2. Vengeance of Vampirella #4. This is just one that I was missing. I have a near complete run of Vengeance. Again, I think I'm just missing, I think there's a few Adam Hughes covers in that run. Pretty sure I'm just missing those. I have a lot of these. Like I said, I do collect some modern Vampirella here and there. I really like the Mark Spears cover for #1. He did a bunch of different colors for it. I have a bunch of different ones. I have the regular blue. Saw the foil, and I was like, you know, why not? It was $3. So I have every issue of the current Transformers run, well, up to the current issue, which is like 26 or something. All of them are cover A, except for #18, because I was late on that one, and all that was available was cover B. And I thought this was cover A. I went and looked on CLZ, it's actually cover F. So the cover A for this one just keeps escaping me. It is a cool cover, I'll hang on to it, but I still want to have the cover A just because I have all the other ones cover A, so, you know. OCD things, I guess. I thought this was a really cool variant. I'd never seen this before. This is The Thing #2. It's a Kevin Eastman variant. Not sure if this is from the most recent Thing series, which came out, well, now technically last year, because it's New Year's Day as of recording this 2026. But I didn't see it, and I do like when Kevin Eastman does like the mainstream comic characters variants. This was another awesome find for $2. Sensational She-Hulk. I don't know the number. It might be #1. Adam Hughes foil variant. That one is really cool. I also found a Jenny Frison Wonder Woman variant for Justice League Unlimited #5. They actually had quite a few modern variants, like good stuff too, like Artists People Desire, like Frison and Spears and Adam Hughes, so I thought that was really cool. If you watched my Fill-A-Box video, you saw that I got all the parts of the Venom storyline for Legends of the Dark Knight except for #1, and only #1 was in the box at 2nd and Charles, so that worked out really well. because I would have felt bad if the whole run was there. So now I have the complete storyline, which is nice because, as I said in that video, this is one of my absolute favorite Batman stories. I love Legends of the Dark Knight. I try to stop myself from collecting vintage Batman because there's just so much of it. I try to stop myself from collecting Batman in single issues, period. But I do think I'm going to let myself collect Legends of the Dark Knight because there's no real trades for it. There are trades that are much older that you can sometimes find that collect the various stories, because Legends of the Dark Knight was a bunch of different storylines that either took place out of continuity or could be set in kind of like any period of time in the continuity there. So they don't really show up in omnibuses or anything like that, except for, I think, the Nightfall omnibus and the No Man's Land omnibus, because they do have some tie-ins for that. But other than that, there's no real collected edition of all of them, so I am going to let myself collect Legends of the Dark Knight. Oh, I forgot this was in here. This is actually from my friend. He showed me his Ultimate Spider-Man run recently, and I noticed he didn't have a first print for #1. I figured that this wasn't a first print, but I took a gamble on it. It was the KB Toys print from 2000, which I think is still older than his. He said he still wanted it, though, so that one is for him, along with a few other things I got for him. Alright, brief intermission of comics to show you some toys I got. I've had some really good luck with figures lately, which I never do because all the stores in my city, which I don't live in a small city, are constantly picked clean of toys, which I will talk a little bit more about that when I get to my Ollie's haul. But anyway, had some good luck with toys, GameStop, Walmart, Target, places like that. I got this Phantom Rider. This is a brand new line. I think it like literally just came out a couple weeks ago. See, they really try to get you with the Build-A-Figure thing to try to buy them all the figures, which I want to build the figure, but I don't want all the other figures. Like, see, there's a Iron Man Mark 72. I don't care for that armor. The Dark Avengers Spider-Man I may get. Warbow looks cool, but I don't need him. Werewolf by Night I may get. Enchantress is cool, but I don't really want her. So, then you just end up left with random pieces of Build-A-Figures. But anyway, I grabbed the Phantom Rider. Thought he's a really cool character. I don't know if they've ever made a figure for him. I'm sure they have at some point, but it's probably been a long time. And then on clearance at Target, which I had bad luck with Target clearance this year because I found literally nothing at my own Target. This was a Target out of town. They were just picked over completely, unlike last year where I found a whole bunch of stuff on clearance. I got this Mr. Miracle from McFarlane DC Multiverse. Pretty cool. It's more like Mr. Miracle from the Tom King run. Almost thought this was not even Scott-Free. I thought it was Shiloh Norman. I think it's Scott-Free, but I'm not sure. I love my Fourth World stuff, so had to grab that. Am sad that after this year, McFarlane loses the DC license, because I really like the McFarlane DC figures. Alright, then I got a little figure haul from Big Bad Toy Store. These first three I already took out the box, so I'm just going to show them to you loose. I got the NECA TMNT Adventures. That's from the Archie comic Slash. He was only $10, so can't go wrong because he was $35 originally. He does come with accessories. I already put them away, though. And then I've been really wanting the McFarlane Marvel statues, but I don't want to pay $30 or $60 for them. But on Big Bad Toy Store, a whole bunch of them were half off, of the $30 ones, that is, so got a whole bunch of them for $15. I got the Iron Man, which he is really small. Definitely glad I never paid $30 for him. And then also got Daredevil, which I don't know if his Billy Club is supposed to come out of his hand or not, but mine does, and it won't really stay. Do like that it swings around. And then I have two more that I haven't taken out of the box yet, that I'll grab. So I got Deadpool. That's his New Mutants 98 pose there. Wasn't like the biggest fan of that one, but it's a Deadpool statue for $15, so it's kind of hard to say no to. Okay, sorry for the cut. I hit the tripod and it went flying because it's weak as hell. Anyway, I also got the Venom one, which I've been wanting this one for a couple years, actually, so played the very long game on that one. But yeah, I don't think these statues are worth 30 bucks, maybe 20. The Iron Man one I definitely do not think is worth 30 bucks. And then they have the ones out now that are even bigger that are 60, which they're cool, but I would never pay 60 bucks for them. I really want the Punisher one, but I've seen reviews of it, and I know it's not worth 60 bucks. Hoping it'll eventually go on clearance for like 30 bucks or something. But yeah, I do think that these are overpriced. Alright, next we have a lot of graphic novels to show. So, these are all the ones that I got for Christmas from family members. So first up, I got the Silver Surfer Epic Collection Volume 3. So this collects the beginning of Silver Surfer's ongoing series, also collects that one-shot from 1982, Supervillain Classics #1, Epic Illustrated #1, it's just a story from that, and then a story from Marvel Fanfare 53. So, cool stuff. This is classic Silver Surfer. I think everybody loves that third volume of his. That was his longest running volume, and I think that one went to like 100 or over 100 issues even. So, fun to be able to start that. I got the DC Finest for Batman Year 1 and 2. Originally, I was of the impression that these just collected that storyline, but no, I realized it's actually just a straight run, and they just call it that, so... it's cool to get a straight run of 80s Batman. I also got Red Skies, which I will show you in a minute here, which is the precursor to this one, which that's, you know, pre-Crisis, and then this is post-Crisis, where they give Batman's new origin and stuff. It was cool to reread Year 1. I've read that one many times. It's always worth a good read. I think this is the first time I've actually fully read Year 2. I know I started it before. I think I didn't care for it, and so I didn't finish it. It's not bad, but it is nowhere near as good as Year 1. And then lots of other good stuff, and then the one that comes after this is Killing Joke, that's already out, and then in April we get Death in the Family, and then in May or June we get Blind Justice. Also got the DC Finest for Supergirl, Body and Soul. I'm so glad that we're finally getting this Supergirl series collected, because it's the best one. The Peter David 90s into the 2000s Supergirl, this was late 90s actually, with Linda Danvers and The Matrix combined together. This is easily the best Supergirl. I mean, I don't think there's really been a bad Supergirl series, but this one, I don't think anyone's gonna come anywhere close to this one. Also got the first trade for Geiger. Very excited. I've been wanting to read that for a very long time. So that's the first 6 issues, because, well, it's the first mini-series, and then it went into an ongoing, which is still currently running, and I want to get, assuming that I like this, I want to get the deluxe for Volume 2. And then here's Batman Red Skies. I definitely enjoyed this one less than Year 1 and Year 2. I think part of that is like knowing that most of this continuity is just going to be wiped away with the Crisis is part of the reason for my less than enthusiastic enjoyment of it. But it's not bad. Definitely not bad. Then I got the Hulk Modern Era Epic Collection. That's Volume 6. Who is the Red Hulk? So this collects the beginning of that Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness Hulk series that features the Red Hulk. So 1 through 12, King Size Hulk 1, and then material from Hulk 600 and Wolverine 50. This is a favorite of mine for sure from this era. I've read this several times. I don't think I've actually ever fully read the entire series. I don't even remember how long it went. Volume 2 for this comes out next month, I think. So, excited for that. Wildcats Compendium #1. So I'm really excited to dive into this. I love me some classic Image stuff from the 90s. I love all kinds of older indie stuff for sure. But Wildcats is a great one. I had almost the complete run in single issues. So this collects 0 through 13 and then 15 through 20. It's missing 14 because I think one of the other Image characters shows up. Wildcat Special number 1, Trilogy 1 through 3, Sourcebook 1 through 2, Team 1 1 through 2, Team 1 Stormwatch 1 through 2, and Cyberforce 1 through 3. So this came out, I think, like a year or two ago, and they still haven't announced a Volume 2. Hopefully we get one. We got New Avengers Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 1 assembled. So I wanted the Volume 1 Omnibus, but it's out of print. You know, it's been reprinted twice. It came out only 2 years ago, and it's already been reprinted twice and already out of print. So that's a popular one. So I had to get the Epics here, which I'm excited for either way because I just want to have them because this is my favorite Avengers series, along with Dark Avengers and all that stuff. So this is Avengers 500 through 503 and 500 Director's Cut, Avengers Finale, New Avengers 1 through 10 and number 1 Director's Cut, and New Avengers Most Wanted Files. I know they have a few more of the Epics out of this. They also have the second Omnibus out of this, so probably collect what I can in the Epics, and then maybe I'll get the Volume 2 Omni. Not sure. May just stick with it in Epic. We'll see. And then this one I was on the fence about because I do have the Omnibus, but the Omnibus doesn't have everything. So this is Daredevil Epic Collection Volume 8 to Dare the Devil. This starts the Frank Miller run. I did get the Frank Miller Omnibus, but the Frank Miller Omnibus really is missing a lot of stuff. It has pretty much the core, his first core run, and then just stops. It doesn't collect his stuff from later on with Born Again. I believe the Companion does, but the Companion's also out of print. So I did get this as a gift for Christmas, and so I'll probably stick with it and get them in Epics. I do like the Epics a little bit better, to be honest, just for taking them with me places. So this is Daredevil 155 through 176, and material from What If number 28, and Bizarre Adventures number 28, which really excited to read the Bizarre Adventures one, because I'm fairly certain that one is definitely not in the Omnibus, which I believe it's an Elektra story. I think it's in the back here. Yeah. Very cool. Alright, next, I went and I hit an Ollie's, and then these are also my stuff I got from Second & Charles, graphic novel-wise, and something I actually found at GameStop, of all places. So first, this is my Ollie's haul. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take this one back because, as I just noticed before this video, it has this giant cut here. I don't even know what that would have been from. So, they had plenty of them. The only issue is this was an Ollie's that was out of town. It's not terribly far away, but that's the only place I'm going to be able to go to get another one of these. I think this is also the direct market cover. But this is Junkyard Joe Volume 1, collects that mini-series, issues 1 through 6. It's in the Geiger universe. Junkyard Joe first shows up in Geiger. I saw people finding this at Ollie's a long time ago, never showed up at mine. If it did, people probably took it, because my Ollie's has a ton of scalpers and resellers, along with the other stores that sell toys or anything remotely collectible, unfortunately. So yeah. This is a cool one. He kind of reminds me of G.I. Robot, which kind of is what drew me into him in the first place, and Geiger and everyone, because I always thought G.I. Robot was so cool. Jeff Johns as well, which I'm a big Jeff Johns fan. He got me into the Justice Society. I got the hardcover for Basket Full of Heads. I never found the box set for the Joe Hill stuff that everybody else was finding. My Ollie's had the Basket Full of Heads trade. I was kind of holding out to maybe find the hardcover, and I did at this Ollie's, just because I don't like having to get the stickers off of the soft covers. So that's exciting. There's something about this being adapted with Natasha Lyonne starring and directing or whatever. So, complete miniseries for Basket Full of Heads. Not a big horror guy, but this one did sound interesting. And then, if you watch Ollie's videos, or yeah, people do Ollie's videos ever with comics, if you've seen them lately, you've seen that Ollie's has been getting in a lot of omnibuses. Mine did get some in, but they went super quick, and some of them I never even saw there. So, like I said, I got a lot of scalpers at my Ollie's, but I went to the one that was out of town. I gotta set this down. And they had tons of different omnibuses and lots of them. So I found this one, the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Panther, because that was one I was also looking for. They also had X-Men Volume 2. Had plenty of that. I considered it, but I knew I probably wasn't going to read it because I'm not a big Silver, Bronze Age X-Men. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like Bronze Age X-Men, but only when the new team takes over. They also had the Star Wars one, which I don't really care about the new canon stuff. They had the Marvel Knights Black Panther one, which I already got that. Things like that. I'm still hoping to find the Captain Marvel one. I've also seen a few people find the She-Hulk by Peter David. That would be cool to find. Wouldn't mind finding Planet of the Apes either. But yeah, this was $35, and it retails for $125. Also found this at Ollie's, semi-comic related. They have comics of this. The Masters of the Universe book. It's kind of like a tell-all about He-Man and its origins and the toys and the various lore of the character and how things were created and all of that. And I thought that was really cool. I wouldn't call myself a big He-Man fan, but I definitely enjoy it as someone who's big into sword and sorcery, like Conan the Barbarian. Now, these next few I actually found at Second and Charles. I was very pleasantly surprised by the things I found and the prices I found them for. So I found the Howard the Duck Omnibus by Chip Zdarsky and Joe Quinones. This is a very small Omni. This is also one that was showing up at Ollie's, but I never found it. This was only $25 though, which I think it was showing up at Ollie's for $25 or $20, so still did pretty good there. It's definitely been used before, has a tiny bit of wear on the dust jacket and stuff, but it's nothing bad, and I'm just going to read it and mess it up even more anyway. Then I also found the trade for Elektra Assassin, Bill Sienkiewicz cover, which Bill Sienkiewicz also did the interior art. So this collects that entire mini-series of Elektra Assassin, 1 through 8. Got this for only $8. Oh, and it's also written by Frank Miller, so. I've had a few single issues of this before, you know, it always looked cool, especially because of the Sienkiewicz art. Never got a chance to read it, heard really, really good things. So, it was nice to get that for super cheap. I got the Thunderbolts Volume 1 Epic Collection. I got the Thunderbolts Volume 2 Omnibus at Ollie's. And I just need to fill in, you know, the gap before that, which I don't think the Omnibus for Volume 1 is in print, but I can get the Epics, which this one I think was a little harder to find even. So yep, there you go, Volume 1. Thunderbolts 1 through 12, Annual, Distant Rumblings, -1, Hulk 449, Spider-Man Team Up, Heroes for Hire, and material from Tales of the Marvel Universe. This was only $15 for what was, I can barely make it out through there, a $45 or $50 Omni, or excuse me, Epic. This one I'm fairly certain is out of print. Morbius, The Living Vampire, Volume 1. They actually had 3 copies of this. Just on the off chance that one of them was priced lower, I went through all 3 of them. 2 of them were $15. This one was only $11. Actually 12, I guess, $11.95. But yeah, I'm fairly certain this is out of print and harder to find. I know a long time ago this was also showing up at Ollie's, but I think that this is a harder to find one now. So you get ASM 101 through 102, Marvel Team Up 3 through 4, Giant Size Superheroes, I don't know if there's a number there or not, 20 through 26, material from Vampire Tales 1 through 8, and Giant Size Werewolf by Night. Again, can't read it. I assume Adventures into Fear is also in here, because that's what that is from. flip through a little bit. Looks like also magazine. Oh yeah, it's Vampire Tales. Actually, okay, now I'm curious. I just want to see if Adventures into Fear is in here, because that's what the cover is from. Yep, it is. Okay. So yeah, that was a really cool find. Barnes & Noble for the year-end sale was doing 25% off everything. Now, I typically don't buy graphic novels from Barnes & Noble because they are cover price, and while you can argue that cover price is fair, I typically don't have to pay cover price for things because Amazon or cheap graphic novels or in-stock trades will almost assuredly have them for much cheaper. But these were all semi-inexpensive and 25% off, and I had a $5 coupon, so it was pretty cool. Superman Batman compact. This was one of the compacts that I was wanting. My shop had it, which, yes, I probably should have got it from them to support the shop, but it was 25% off an already only $10 compact, so, you know, why not? I also finally picked up the first volume for Absolute Wonder Woman in hardcover. I did read this. Really good. Quite enjoyed it. This was the only one coming out there that I wasn't really sure about when the big three with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman were coming out. It just didn't sound that interesting to me, but it actually ended up being pretty good. It's definitely a different mythology for Wonder Woman. I like the lore and world building, which Absolute Flash does have a lot of world building, but this is world building with an already set and known mythology and changing that. So it's pretty cool. Definitely will pick up Volume 2 when that comes out soon. I'm probably going to start picking it up in regular issues as well. I did pick up the most recent issue because that was the crossover with Absolute Batman. But after that, I'll probably continue to pick it up. And then this is one that I'd been trying to collect in the single issues, but hadn't managed to put them all together. This is The Holy Roller, which is written by Andy Samberg and Rick Remender. I'd be very shocked if this doesn't ever get a movie or TV show. It feels like it's basically written for TV or movie. But overall, this was a very good, you know, some of it's just not really my humor. If you're not familiar with this is basically about a guy who's a really good bowler who leaves his town for like 20 years, comes back for his dying father, and finds out his town is being overrun by supposed neo-Nazis, and, you know, takes the bowling ball and just starts whooping ass. So it is a pretty good read. I definitely would recommend checking it out. Like I said, I wasn't really a big fan of some of the humor in it, but overall, I quite enjoyed it. And finally, my last pickup. This was one I found at GameStop. Something that I didn't expect to find at GameStop either. This is the first compendium for G.I. Joe. So it was a limited edition GameStop exclusive, but really it was the Kickstarter exclusive in the first place. You get the Cobra cover instead of the Joe cover for the Kickstarter. I guess maybe they printed a lot for the Kickstarter and ended up having GameStop sell them and call it a GameStop exclusive. I don't know. But this was $60 on clearance for $40. I saw this before Christmas, and man, I really wanted it, but I was like, I can't get it. It's right before Christmas. And then I came back after Christmas, and they actually still had 2 copies there, so I went and grabbed one. So I'm very happy to have this now, as this was one that I was very much wanting, along with the Transformers one. I need to get Volume 2 for this. I also need to get Volume 1 for Transformers. So, yes, that is going to end it for us. So that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this big haul. I know there wasn't too many single issues. I haven't really been buying a lot of back issues. Mostly been buying just a lot of new stuff, my, you know, monthly subscriptions and things like that. So, but if you did like this video, hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what kind of cool stuff that you picked up over this holiday. And please be sure to subscribe as well if you enjoy videos like this. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.